glad you're here. I'm Jen Lepore, Marketing Team Coordinator at Custom Processing Services, and today we have Willow Slusser, who's one of our Business Development Managers, and she and I are going to talk a little bit about toll processing for functional foods. So to give our audience some context, let's start off with a brief description or definition of the functional foods.
Sure. So functional foods are foods that provide health benefits. So they contain bioactive compounds, which give positive effects on the body, and they can also reduce risk of disease as well.
Okay, so can you provide some examples of this?
Sure. So I guess I'll start with the characteristics first. So there is 4 different characteristics that I would categorize for this. So one would be, it could be a natural product, but it could be processed. So there are some processed foods that have been enhanced with nutrients or bioactives. And then the health benefits. So that's like a big characteristic, right? So these are components like vitamins, minerals, fibers, antioxidants, and more. And then just our basic everyday diet requirements. And then just to wrap it all up, it's scientific evidence, right, that supports those health benefits. So more examples of this would be like our fruits and veggies. So that would be our vitamins, minerals, fiber, antioxidants, whole grains. So that's fiber and nutrients as well. The fortified foods that I had mentioned, a lot of cereals are fortified now. And then probiotic foods as well. So this is like added live bacteria for your gut health. And then there's nuts and seeds. Everybody's on a kick with the different like nut flours and different substitute peanut butters. So those are healthy fats, protein, micronutrients. And then also fish that has omega-3 in it. And that's also great for you.
So we're going to go into a toll processing role. What role does a toll processor play in helping manufacturers develop these foods?
Sure. So it's a lot of specialized processing. So whether it be milling, blending, extraction, classification, we're providing all of those expertise areas. R&D support is a big one, especially when companies are first developing a new product and they want to try, multiple different formulas. Process optimization, so increasing the efficiency, increasing the yield, having good quality, flexibility with scaling. So just like the trialing portion, being able to scale up or scale down depending on what their needs are at the time. And then just cost efficiency in general, especially when you're starting up a whole new line. A lot of companies don't want to invest in that specialized equipment right away. So that's always a good option for us to play on.
Okay. So how are the nutritional benefits of functional ingredients maintained during toll processing?
So that would be controlled processing conditions. So temperature and moisture control are a huge one. This would prevent any degradation that could happen. Some components are sensitive to light, so we'll put it in specialized packaging as soon as it's done processing, so that it's not exposed to any light. And our, humidity controlled stations will limit the moisture because moisture can also degrade certain bioactive ingredients. So also for trialing and just process optimization in general. So knowing what parameters the equipment needs to be at will allow you to have that tight control, especially for like micronization and knowing, what the equipment can do and being able to adjust.
So you bring up a good point, and it's leading into my next question of why is particle size reduction so important with these applications?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's improved quality, functionality, consumer experience. Um, for consumer experience, nobody wants to have, a drink mix that has chunky granules and like that grainy feeling in your mouth. So just super important for, that texture and mouthfeel. For the blending, just homogeneity in general. With like drink mixes, they put specific percentages of each component. So if it's not homogeneous, you're not getting the nutrients that you're supposed to, and that the label tells you that you should be getting from that. Um, and then also enhanced bioavailability. So when you micronize, you're exposing more surface area. So increased surface area is increased solubility and it's increased absorption in your body. And then there's also stability and shelf life to think about as well. So if you're making like any kind of suspensions or dispersions, the smaller particles tend to stay in suspension longer rather than these big chunky particles that want to drop out. And then also increased reactivity as well. So that's just increasing the effectiveness, and specifically for probiotics as well.
Is micronization and nano-sized particle reduction common?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, especially for, you're looking at certain particle size distributions. The more uniform that is, the better quality product you have.
Okay. So that kind of takes us into, achieving the particle size reduction. So to achieve their particle size reduction goals, what type of services does a functional food manufacturer look for in a toll processor?
Yeah, so in general, just various types of milling, right? So we have jet milling, we have wet milling, we have mechanical milling. So that all depends on what particle size is needed for that application. But having all of those is really nice just because you have more of a flexibility there. Um, Homogenization, that's a big one. So whether it be wet or dry, so blenders and then like high dispersion mixers as well. And then a lot of people use classification in functional foods. So that is sorting the particles by size and density. There you can get a very narrow particle size distribution. And then just looking at quality control, having a variety of testing. Every material has different specifications that they want to go by, whether it's laser diffraction or sieve analysis. And then just being able to have that customization of processing is a big one, especially when it's a multi-step process.
Okay. So how might a toll processor's R&D experience help manufacturers with process validation and scaling to full production?
Yeah, so just the knowledge that you can gain because we get so many different materials. So a lot of times, we'll have customers come to us and, they'll want to mill a very similar material. So we have more of a starting ground. So just a good background and knowledge in different areas can really help you.
So obviously we're talking about food processing, and with the strict FDA regulations coming into play, what type of certifications does CPS hold that can ensure compliance?
So we are cGMP certified. So this just standardizes procedures, the production, the documentation, quality control, and it reduces risks of errors and contamination. And then we have our ISO 9001. So that's our quality maintenance system. So that kind of covers all aspects of production from start to finish. And that also has a continuous improvement in it as well, and very customer focused. We also have some HACCP. So depending if the customer, wants it or not, it depends on the application. We have a hazard critical control point. So that focuses just on food safety management and control of hazards within production. And then we have our FSSC 22000. So that's a food safety system certification. And this is high levels of safety and quality for food products. And then I know there's a lot here. We also have some product-based certifications. So that includes organic, gluten-free, and then kosher halal. So organic is obviously maintaining that organic nature, and then gluten, it ensures safety for consumers that have celiacs or a gluten sensitivity, and then kosher halal, just that religious compliance.
Thanks for stopping by, Willow. And thanks to you watching. Be sure to subscribe to our blog to get the latest episodes of our shows, news, and insights from our team of experts. We'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Bye. That's cute. I like it.